We got a problem. Black folk don't understand the world. You can get mad with me all you want. You can say what you, but you can't prove me wrong.
In South Africa, whites own Pick and Pay, Woolworths, and ShopRite. Indians own Kit Kat. Chinese own Nizams. Blacks nothing. Zilch Delolo. Our votes are an employment contract for politicians who claim to be on our side. Our vote gives them a parliamentary seat.
Black people got a problem. When black people see the world, I don't care. You can train them. You can train a black man to be a physician. You can train him to be an astrophysicist. You can train him to be a lawyer, but you can't train him to understand the world. He doesn't know. We got a problem. Black folk don't understand the world. You can get mad with me all you want. You can say what you, but you can't prove me wrong. Now, I'm not saying this because I hate black folk. I'm saying it because I love you enough to tell the truth. There's something wrong with the black man's mind. There's something wrong with his mind. Let me tell you something. We're not going to ever get anywhere until we look into the mind of a black man. He doesn't think correctly. I don't care what he is. He can be a doctor. He can be an astrophysicist. The nigger ain't got no sense.
This building is located in Atteridgeville on Khomeini Street. Under apartheid, it was used as a fruit and vegetable market. Local residents used to be employed in this building. It has been transformed into a church. Today, residents come to this building to pray for jobs.
Black people got a problem. When black people see the world, I don't care. You can train them. You can train a black man to be a physician. You can train him to be an astrophysicist. You can train him to be a lawyer, but you can't train him to understand the world. He doesn't know. We got a problem. Black folk don't understand the world. You can get mad with me all you want. You can say what you, but you can't prove me wrong. Now, I'm not saying this because I hate black folk. I'm saying it because I love you enough to tell the truth. There's something wrong with the black man's mind. There's something wrong with his mind. Let me tell you something. We're not going to ever get anywhere until we look into the mind of a black man. He doesn't think correctly. I don't care what he is. He can be a doctor. He can be an astrophysicist. The nigger ain't got no sense.
I visited 204 Oxford Street in Sandton and observed that some businesses, owned by white and Indian individuals, employ exclusively foreign nationals. These owners are knowingly exploiting cheap labor to maximize profits. The influx of foreign nationals, permitted by those in power, is a deliberate tactic to pit locals against foreigners in a scramble for jobs, leaving local natives unemployed. This diverts attention from the true adversaries of the local population, like fighting for land. If you expect me to demand that foreigners leave, you're mistaken. Instead, I say, you have the numbers. Unite, pool your resources, and establish your own businesses and employ your children. Don't expect whites and Indians to employ your children. Stop claiming that white and Indian businesses are giving your jobs to foreigners. Those jobs aren't yours. Create your own opportunities.
Why I see no point in joining South African political parties. As a native South African, I'm fed up with political parties promising us the world while delivering nothing but empty slogans. Why should I bother joining the ANC, PAC, EFF, MK, or Mayabai if I'm not chasing a parliamentary seat or a fancy party job? And don't even get me started on the DA, FF+, Rise Mzansi, PA, Boza, or IFB. They're a complete waste of time for people like us. These so-called left-leaning parties talk big about land and economic freedom for natives, but they're just using our votes to line their own pockets. I'm done with that. From now on, the only party getting my vote is one that brings back high school politics, because our students won't wait for some future freedom. They'll fight for it now, just like they did in 1976 and 1986. Let's break it down. Let's be real. What's the point of joining a political party like the ANC, PAC, EFF, MK, or Mayabai if you're not aiming for a big paycheck or a seat in parliament? They claim membership gives you a voice. Sure, you might attend a branch meeting or vote for some local leader. But does that really change anything for us ordinary natives? These parties charge small fees, like our 20 for the ANC or our 10 for the EFF, and they'll tell you it's about being part of the struggle. But when you look closely, it's the same old story. The leaders get rich, while we're left with nothing but promises. I don't see any real benefits for the average person, just a lot of talk about revolution that never reaches our communities. The ANC, EFF, PAC, MK, And groups like Mayabai love preaching about land and economic freedom for native South Africans. They say they're fighting for us, but where's the action? They don't mobilize us to pool our resources, buy farms, or start businesses. Instead, they use our votes to secure jobs and wealth for themselves. Look at the former EFF's Mbayiseni Ndlozi. He once complained on Twitter about his farm's grass being burnt. His farm, while he was out here telling EFF members to occupy land, he's already got his. Julius Malema is no different, living large while the rest of us struggle. The ANC's been at it for decades, handing out tenders to loyalists. MK and PAC might sound radical, but they're just more of the same. Promises of economic freedom that only seem to free up the politicians' bank accounts. And don't even bother with the DA, FF+, Zenzele, PA, BOZA, or the IFP. These parties are a dead end for native South Africans. The DA might talk about jobs and clean governance, but it's clear they don't care about our communities. They're too busy serving the suburbs. The FF+ is all about protecting minority interests, which means nothing to us. Zenzele and BOZA are just new faces with the same tired ideas funded by the DA bosses, and the IFP stuck in its KZN bubble. Joining these parties or voting for them is like throwing your voice into a void. They're not for us, period. What about getting a paid job through a party? Forget it. Your chances are next to nothing. These parties employ maybe a few thousand people nationwide. ANC might have a couple thousand staff, EFF a few hundred. Compare that to millions of members and voters, and it's clear, only the connected get those jobs. Parliamentary seats or councillor roles, paying our 500,000 to $1 million a year, go to loyal insiders, not ordinary members like you or me. Even in smaller parties like PAC or Mayabai, the odds are slim, and their budgets are too small to pay reliably. You'd have to grind for years, know the right people, and maybe have a degree just to get noticed. Meanwhile, the elite keep winning, and we're left with nothing. I'm not saying don't vote. Voting matters, but we've got to vote wisely. I'm done with parties that dangle economic freedom in front of us while they cash in. From now on, the only party I'll support is one that brings back high school politics. Remember 1976, when Soweto students stood up against apartheid's rotten education system? Or 1986, when young people kept the pressure on for our political freedom? Those students didn't wait for politicians to hand them a future, they fought for it. A party that mobilizes high school students today could spark that same fire. Our youth won't sit around for empty promises. They'll push us to pool our resources, buy land, build businesses, and take control of our economic destiny. Now, not later. So, that's my take. I see no real reason to join these parties as they stand. They're using native South Africans like me for votes while the leaders get richer. We need a new kind of politics, one led by our students, just like in 76 and 86. That's the party I'm waiting for. What about you? Which party's got your vote? And how do we get our youth to lead the charge? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button and subscribe for more real talk. That's a wrap, folks. But before you go, keep this in mind. Their smoke and mirrors are just theatrics, pulling your focus from what truly matters. The real fight? It's always been about the land and the economy. Stay sharp, stay woke, and we'll catch you next time.
The most important person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs.